it's us two forever, but I think that we just don't know it. Don't think that we know it. I swear life is a bitch, I'ma toss it the throne, cause I feel like it's planned. You keep in my heart or you tossing it, baby. I know I hate playing. You know I hate playing. Forever. Say that no matter no weather. Heart getting colder than winter, but I say no matter the weather. And don't you forget it. I look at love and then have all these questions. I look at you and then get all these answers. Fuck all these hoes, can you please mind my manners? Monkey around cause you drop me bananas. You put the nails to my hammer. Without you I'm deadly like cancer. There go your answer. I feel like it's flushing the planet. And baby, I'm not being nasty. I'm just hoping you understand me. Look what you do to me. This is so crazy. Yeah, I'm happy to call you my lady. Yeah, I'm happy to say we together. And I hope this shit lasts forever. Yeah.
The pieces in my heart go away with you.
Yeah.
Forever in my mind, only you.
I love you.
The pieces in my heart go away with you.
I hope you're feeling this as much as I am.
Forever in my mind,
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Temporary Comrades back at you. Today we got a pretty hefty topic to go over. We're going over corruption and complacency and a few other things. So we're going to start us off. Adam's here. Hey, guys. And here's the boys. Here's Jay Benny.
What's up? It's Big J in the building.
Sure is. And here's our boy Corn / Neil / whatever he wants.
It's Corn. What's up?
All right, guys. So, Jaron, I'm going to let you roll this one off because you have the most experience thinking about this sort of stuff, and we'll pick up from there.
All right, guys. I wanted to just start off by let's just define corruption if we can.
Yes.
So corruption is defined in 3 useful ways. First one is this is according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which I mean you can see how valid or not valid you think that is. Anyway, first definition of corruption is dishonest or illegal behavior, especially by powerful people such as government or police. Second definition is inducement to wrong by improper or unlawful means, like bribery. And C is a departure from the original or from what is pure or correct. So I think we're going to be touching a lot on all 3 of those types of corruption tonight. Definitely more A and C, and probably a little bit of B as well.
So all the above, yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm actually going to pass this off to Corn now because I know he had some things he was itching to talk about, and a couple of those topics I was honestly going to bring up myself. So
Right there. We can talk to the next person.
Pass that around. No one wants to start.
Well, now pass off to me. I do want to start off with one thing: invasion of privacy. Yes, we have a lot to talk about that. There's a lot of different situations and a lot of different things that are out now that relate to invasion of privacy and how the government invades on our privacy without us even knowing, which is also part of us being consumers, being uninformed. Especially in terms of this whole Alexa thing now. The Alexa, the Google Home.
Yeah,
all that
Amazon
watching,
Alexa, Google Home.
Yeah, all that's watching what we do. All that's it's taking everything. Because think about the normal cell phone. I watched a video the other day, which is why I really wanted this. I was really passionate about talking about this. Was where this dude had 2 different phones, and he took the SIM cards out of them. It was not connected to any Wi-Fi. It wasn't set up at all. He just walked around. I think he walked like 14, 15 miles with both phones in his pockets. Didn't connect to anything like that. Went back to his spot, and he had this little automatic. Jane, you might know what I'm talking about. This little automatic little Wi-Fi thing, where
like a hotspot, pretty much.
Yeah, like where it pretty much processed everything through the phone of what the phone went through, like of where it traveled throughout.
Oh yeah, all the data went. Yeah,
and it went
a capture device. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole thing, and he had to plug it to a screen, and it like pulled up this big ass map of everywhere he's been within that time span of like I think like an hour or 2 hours. And what it did was it showed everything. So apparently when you have your phone and you take it into like a store, it'll pick up whatever kind of code is in that store, like where it's the code to not like the code to open up the cash register, but like a code of anything else electronic, like the cash register, radios, all kinds of shit, and it picks up where you are. that had me kind of thinking. I'm like, so no wonder they're kind of with all this Alexa shit, all this Google Home shit, because when all you gotta say is, hey Alexa, what's this, or Alexa, what's that, Alexa, what time is blah blah blah, and it just comes up with it and tells you what time it is, where it's going. And when you think it's off, it's not really off. Just listen to everything you're saying, and it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time until we're gonna see, and we might not even see it. They might not show it on the news because they want you to keep buying the products, which obviously corrupts still.
That's the media.
And I'll add to that. With the you know that whole AI automation stuff that is being thrown at everybody now, that's really old technology. Like they're just now getting ready to start. It's just now perfected to a point where they're going to start using it on people, and I say on people. So what they're doing is they're letting people get comfortable with it, and that's where we get these Amazon Alexa and this Google Home. They're always listening. Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, has deep ties with the CIA. This is no secret. Google, well, all you got to do is look up Google corruption, and then that's like 20 things right there. They got rid of their slogan "Don't be evil" years ago. Google.
I've never even heard that slogan.
Yeah.
Don't be evil.
Yeah, y'all late. They used to be their slogan back then.
Now we're gonna be evil.
Don't be evil. So these companies that we put, literally our entire lives into, are doing nothing but slurping up data on us and selling on our behalf and preparing on our behalf and perfecting shit for their own gain on our behalf, and we really get nothing from it except like an addictive tick, which is a smartphone.
Yeah.
Or a fucking or your AI your home AI device.
They certainly do become addictions, especially in this day and age, man. Like I'm addicted. I mean, trying to break it, but I feel like everyone becomes addicted to smartphones after a while and any form of technology. It's all just right there in front of you. Computers, we're sitting there with a computer in our hands. So how is it like not a temptation?
Yeah, and I feel like, sooner or later it's going to be dentist. You're going to go to the dentist and it's not going to be a person. It's going to be some voiceover.
Cash register, like checking out groceries and shit.
Robotics,
yeah.
That's all going to be taken over.
Yeah.
Exactly. I got one to roll off on that. So I work in a distribution center currently, and I want to talk on this whole generation thing. So I've told people working where I work before that this is the last generation of distribution workers for as far as being human beings, because Amazon is already Amazon already has robotic workers, and these other companies are not going to just let them win because they're already top dog. They're already kicking everybody's ass. So these jobs are temporary. I mean, probably by the time I'm old, which I better not still be there by the time I'm old, but this is the last like string of people who are going to get these type of jobs. They're going to be gone. All we're going to have is the fat cats, like the top dogs programming the machines and running the big numbers. That's all it's going to be. So it's crazy.
It's going to be that, and mostly in IT guys. Pretty much.
Absolutely. So.
In that situation, and what's crazy is that we're saying that this is a bad thing, and this is a result of corruption. People don't think that way about this shit, which is the problem.
Bro. The people running it, they don't care. They're still getting money.
They do care. They do it on purpose. They put all their care into it. That's why it works so well.
Well, you're fucking over a lot of people who need work, so it ends up being extremely corrupt. Because you're doing it for business, but you got to put human beings into consideration too, and so many corporations don't. Yeah, that's why it's so much better to work for yourself in this day and age, man. Yeah, I'm studying it. Jaron, you're studying it. Working for yourself is the way to do it, especially in the internet information age.
I already studied it.
Okay, well, anyways, I'm studying it. So there's really no way around it. Like this day and age, if you're relying on a company or corporation for your only income, you're gonna get screwed. Because I've been there. I'm currently there, and I feel like it's just a matter of time at this point. We all know it.
And also the caveat off of companies. There's a quote straight from the former Facebook president, Sean Parker. His name is. He said the initial goal for Facebook was to get people booked, basically get the money out of them. He said we constantly knew that we constantly knew this, and we did this anyway. In terms of invading their privacy and not having them know until pretty much now, and even most people still don't know that Facebook is invading people's privacy on a daily.
Absolutely.
hours.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I got rid of mine in 2012. Actually, that's the main reason why I was like, this is some shit. Now, it really doesn't matter because they have enough shit. I've got a smartphone and I've got a LinkedIn, so I'm sure they've got something about me on that. But at least I don't have a Facebook. At least they're not tracking all my phone calls, all my text messages, all of my downloads, all my pictures. At least they're not sucking that out of my phone when I have the fucking Messenger app on my phone, which is what it does. And you agree to it every time you download it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But everything on your phone, you're pretty much agreeing to it.
Yeah, it requests access to literally everything.
Mm-hmm. Your phone. Honestly, I think PS4. Once you plug in your microphone to the controller.
Yeah, I think that probably tracks it too. Yeah.
Other than that, in terms of privacy, not really that much to invade. The new smart TVs.
Oh yeah. The fucking smart refrigerators they have, Samsung with their smart refrigerators.
Smart refrigerator.
And the sad thing is, a lot of this shit came about because of, everybody being scared about everything, and because of terrorism. Really, they're like, oh, we have to sign these acts into law so that we can listen to everybody even more. Like, just look up the Patriot Act. That was like one of the biggest acts as to what personal privacy we had left.
Yeah.
That and ever. Pretty much.
They want to control it. They're literally, and I know I say this every time. Big brother corrupt government is funny to say, but it's so true because they're literally they want you to think that they are that big brother looking out for you. But what they really want to do is they want you to think that they have your best interests. But what they really want to do is control you. You get in your car. Cars nowadays controlled by the government.
Yeah. Bluetooth and everything syncs up to Wi-Fi in some way.
I have something to add to that as well.
Okay.
I sorry to interrupt you, Adam.
Go inside your house. You go inside your house. If you have, depending on what TV you have, smart TVs, iHome, Bluetooth, all that shit. Which some of it is very convenient. I have a Bluetooth speaker, very convenient. Mm-hmm. I don't have a fucking Alexa and all that shit.
I think Alexa is extremely obnoxious. I think anyone who owns one is probably obnoxious.
Or lazy.
They're usually or both. They're usually like briefly when I lived with those roommates. One of them was always yelling at it, Alexa, play this shit. And I was just like, shut the fuck up. Like, obviously, like it speaks for itself when you see what kind of people have it.
Yeah,
but I don't see the point. I think it's just overdoing it. So explain to me what a smart refrigerator is. I have not researched that.
You talk to your refrigerator and it'll do stuff for you.
Well, there you go. More fucking more talking to devices and being an obnoxious fuck. I feel like it just ends up being a bad form of status because if you have all this shit, like what's the point?
It connects to your Wi-Fi, so that way you can use an app on your phone and pour yourself a glass.
It's too much. Like all it's going to do is promote people to become very unhealthy and also continue to be obnoxious. But,
and also adds more vulnerabilities on a technical side because now you have all these devices that are hackable on your Wi-Fi. So all you got to do is hack your Wi-Fi and you can get into whatever you want to get into, make it do whatever you want.
Yeah, and having more is worse.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to your talk about the AI in cars.
Hold on. Before you do that, another thing is schools now are doing it. Colleges now are doing it, like especially mine. And I just go to a state college, so it's pretty much you go online. Like your homework is pretty much you go online. You have to have a webcam on your laptop when you do your homework because they have to tell that you aren't cheating. They have to say you aren't cheating. And that you aren't reading off of paper when you're doing your introductions and when you're doing your homework and all this other stuff, that you aren't cheating.
That's over the top.
That sucks.
Certainly explanation.
So I cheated quite a lot. that's fucked. But
I did too, but shit, I learned shit. No, I'm just kidding.
I learned as well, but you need some of those useless classes. Anyways.
Yeah, you think you cheated.
Yeah, so let me tell this car shit before it slips my mind. So my boss and a couple of my coworkers went to the Detroit Auto Show, and they went over to the Ford section, and Ford, where they were, boasting their new technology in their cars, they're going to have heart rate monitors in the car, and it will alert 911, the emergency authorities when it detects a low heart rate.
that sounds like a sucker for vulnerable and not so smart anymore old people, because they want more instant gratification. That sounds like something for them who also have a lot of money to burn from their retirement.
But that's going to be standard tech in very few short years. They had demonstrations of it at the auto show.
I'm sure they'll force it on people.
This is going to be in like most, if not all, of their cars as an option.
No young person is going to need that shit, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be just there. Because
no young person is going to need it. But if you buy a Ford Escape, it's going to be in it. Yeah. If you want the top, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that they're going to like. Oh, for 65 and older, we've saved this heart rate thing for you. It's going to be in that shit as their technology.
I know.
That's like, it's basically like, oh, you want this new truck? There you go.
Right.
And just like what I was telling y'all about a year ago, when I was talking to OD when I renewed my tags back in VA, where they said they're going to put the little chips in the state stickers, in the state tags, in just a couple of years, where it's going to track. So you think you can get away with a 1998 Honda? No. You have to slip that. You have to stick that tag on there. It's going to track everywhere you go. Especially if your cell phone is already tracking it. But for easier access to get to you, they're going to put that on there.
Yeah, I was just thinking the other day, I'm not getting screwed enough of my life, so I think we need some more chips. Yeah, I need some more bills. I need to be pulled over more. I was just thinking, man, why am I getting such great rides to work and to the gym? Man, I need to be pulled over. I need to be getting hit. Something's got to change here. So I'm glad Big Brother corrupt government is looking out for my best interest.
And you're talking about like high prices.
Oh yeah, fuck Trump. I mean, go Trump. I mean, wait, what?
4 more years of Trump.
And can we talk about how government corruption has gotten so bad that I have never seen one side of the same coin that is government being the left and one side of the same coin that is government being the right hate each other so much. Like I saw an info, like I saw like a infograph. I can't remember where, but it had like a I don't know the technical name of the graph, but basically the middle was, so it had two sides of it, and one was the left, one was the right, obviously. And it showed how politically aligned they were. So middle was more, either or, and then you have the far left and the far right. And since Obama was in office till now that Trump is in office, they made such a greater jump from middle to far left and far right than they did in the entire period before that, and it was like a 50-year study.
Wow.
And we did that in when Obama was like in 2008, so 11 years.
That's crazy.
the insane shift from Democratic Party, aka liberal, to Republican Party, aka conservative, just like weighing those two presidents, Obama and Trump, and that's an insane shift. But I don't find the point in political disputes, because we're dealing with the offended era anyway, right? We have the liberal side, who's all about change and getting offended, which they're wrong for that. We have the conservative side, who's all about ignorance and things staying the same, and they're wrong for that too. Well, this is where you get shitty people from. Go ahead.
Cut you off. Before you say ignorance.
Okay.
Yeah, man. You got
too much.
No. There's never too much on this podcast. This podcast isn't about this is too much or that's too much. It's just about it's not. That's just your opinion.
Okay. Fair enough. I wasn't going to just say my opinion's right.
With that though, is I think it's more now of just people don't know how to debate. People don't know how to sit down and talk to each other. I was watching something earlier where the guy was sitting down. He was Republican. He was sitting down with people that were against the wall or whatever. Okay. And me thinking, because I don't do politics, so I'm not on either side. So I'm just sitting there as just pretty much a bystander, just virtually. And every person that kept trying to come up with an argument of being against the wall was like saying what you were saying, like ignorant shit. Like where just one guy came up and he was like, well, yeah, I think there shouldn't be a wall. I think there should just be a whole thing of grass. No, the guy asked him, he's like, what? All right, if there's no wall, then what do you want? He's like, I just think it's a whole land of grass in between us and Mexico. That way anybody can just walk. I'm just like, dude, like,
what's the point of that?
If you're gonna come with an argument, at least
have some facts behind it or something.
Not
just your feelings.
Not even facts. Just come up with something more logical than just, oh, it should just be grass. Another guy said that he doesn't believe in countries, or he doesn't believe in borders, so everybody should come over. And then so the guy asked him, he's like, so he asked him to define refugee, and the guy couldn't even define what a refugee is. So
yeah.
that's
what I meant. I'm not going to say everyone's ignorant on the Confederate side at all. Not Confederate. Conservative.
I mean, just to prove that point, that it's not about what we're fighting for. It's the fact that it's just people just want to fight. They just want to argue. They just want to say, oh, they're on that side, or they're on that side. Like I meet people where they automatically think that I'm a fucking Democrat for whatever reason. And I'm not.
It's because the color of your skin. That's why.
Might be. People love to hate. Let's just be real.
And they might not even be hating. They might just be like their preconceived prejudice.
Yes,
and which is what it is.
And then since we're on corruption anyway, I wanted to get into this. That comes about how you're raised. You might be raised by some shitty ass people, and you turn into a shitty ass person, and you pass that on to your kids. It all comes down to just upbringings. That's where ignorance or offense comes from. Because like on top of the media, everything combined makes you what you are. So if you're taught this is the way it is your entire life and you never question it, you're probably gonna end up being a pretty shitty person. I mean, let's be real about that too. Like it just there's so much to consider what you become, and a lot of it has to do with the media, the government, I guess, and just like how you're raised, which it's too much to decipher. I'll do my best, and you guys will too. But you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just think like we say all the time, this world was not meant for us to be acting like this and doing all this shit and dealing with the shit that we deal with. Like life is like I always say, life is always hard enough just to live, and you add this shit on top of it, where now you're looking over your shoulder everywhere you go.
Exactly. You're getting dirty looks everywhere you go.
Dude, yeah, I feel cautious all the time.
You don't know if you buy something, if they're watching you. Just simple shit. Yep. Just by doing simple shit, getting in your car.
And that is definitely a corruption of what is normal or right, if you ask me.
Yeah,
another control thing. Did you guys, Jaron, I'm pretty sure you might have heard of this, of the placebo pill?
Yeah, a placebo in general?
Yeah, a placebo in general.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Where they give people a pill, and there's pretty much nothing in it. It's nothing that's going to affect you in it. And they try and see how people like react, and like they tell them like, oh, this is for such and such, and then they like it's ridiculous. Like it's all like
I've had one.
Just basically an experiment to see if you can pretty much control how the person thinks.
The mind is so powerful. It will make you think differently and feel differently immediately. That's all. It's like if you take a cold medicine pill, you're already thinking it's working the minute you swallow it. Back when I was on antidepressants in high school, there was one instance where the lady gave me a placebo pill, asked me how it made me feel, because this was like a test to see if I needed antidepressants. And I didn't know what to tell her. I said, oh, well, I think I feel happier. Just some stupid shit. And then I ended up getting the pills. I was like, 17? So I know what the fuck I was dealing with. So people get bamboozled into things like that all the time. I mean, that was for beneficial reasons. So, but who's to say it might not be the case for someone else?
And here's a stat right here that I have: 37% of antidepressants have a 37% success rate.
Damn.
As of 2017.
Hell yeah. Sounds like That sounds like a good 60% of that's made out of Washingtons and Benjamins. Oh wait, yes, correct. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not one to. I've never been depressed personally, like actually depressed. I've been pretty close, but never. I'd never say that I was actually depressed to the point where I wanted to harm myself or anything. You know, like what actual depressed people do.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily.
Suicidal is very different.
Yeah, that's true. But one usually stems from the other.
Well,
but let me finish.
Being suicidal is a level of depression. It's not
the ultimate level of it.
Yeah, it's not all forms of depression.
It's true. Man, I almost forgot where I was going with that now. That's
throwing placebo and
what? I don't remember. Somebody else.
All right, I'll pick us up. So you guys
I lost it.
Everyone's at fault. Anyways, so you guys wanted to get into hate to start off with even this coming out of my mouth, but child labor, and then we work our way from there.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
You guys had a topic on that. I have something to carry off from it.
I have a yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So I just did a quick search of so American companies benefit a lot from overseas cheap labor, where the rules and regulations on how old you have to be to work are not as strict. You know, sometimes you end up with 9, 10, 12-year-old kids working in sweatshops, you know, soldering chips for iPhones or knitting your fucking football or something like that.
Yeah.
So China's GDP is, if I do believe, a little bit lower than ours, but I just looked up, you know, the average pay for a manufacturing worker in China, and these stats are a little old, but as of 2009, it was $1.75 an hour.
Okay.
Now, if you compare that with minimum wage in America, $7.50, it's quite a bit lower, even relative to, you know, the cost of living.
A lot of it.
Yeah, but you got to factor in cost of living as well, because you can make $1 an hour, but if the cost of living is not that high, it's fine. You know what I'm saying?
True. That is true. I mean, I know third world countries, cost of living is like dramatically less. I learned a good deal about that when I'm visiting back home.
Yeah, but the relative how much you make to how much it costs is still pretty bad in certain overseas.
And on top of that, I mean, you look at the what is it? The turnaround prices or the turnover prices of what they're making and where they're selling it and how much they're selling it for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. How much it costs to make an item versus how much it's sold for versus how much the workers are paid. Oh yeah, profit margins are through the roof.
And I have an honest question because I don't know, but I did have a question like, do morals really play a factor? And now more than ever, pretty much, when it comes to what people purchase.
Do morals?
Yeah, morals. Like where it was made, how it was made. Like I know I've seen it in food, like how people buy like organic and how people.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people go vegan in the past few years. But in terms of in terms of purchases, like purses, jackets, clothes, pretty much. You know, electronics, we can't really control that because pretty much all of our electronics are made elsewhere.
Yeah. You know, honestly, dude, I don't pay attention to what I buy or where it's from. So yeah, I'd say if you're not paying attention to it, the morals don't come into it because I watched a big documentary.
But do they matter though? Of course they don't commit, but do they matter?
They matter, sure.
Is what he's saying.
Of course they matter, but we're not thinking about it when we buy something. So it all comes down to convenience and what we need when we need it. And if you decide all of a sudden, oh well, a little kid made this in a sweatshop, I'm gonna go return it. Who's really gonna do that? Even Joel Osteen's not gonna do that. You think about morals. Yes, they matter, but an object is an object at the end of the day. An item is an item. So like we're not really in control of all this big picture stuff as much as it'd be cool if we were. As much as it'd be cool if a little man was in charge of this instead of instead of fat cat, big corrupt government. So, yeah.
Well, that was a Lamborghini, so I'm pretty sure he's probably not a person we want to compare.
I used him as a joke, but while we're on children and working, I just want to go back into how impressionable kids are and how fucked up it is to ruin youth with money, with you do this because I said so, and with
social agendas,
social media in general. Yeah. Having a social media account when you're too young for it, and it's just too much. Like, I looked up a little while ago, it's called a hooker chic. Like, young girls are being pressured into dressing sexy before they're sexually ready to look to look attractive, and all that's going to do is bring the worst people forward.
Yeah. Yet we're supposed to be an anti-rape, anti-pedo society.
So it goes directly
and we perpetuate the same things that we're so-called against, which is another form of corruption.
Look at here in America. Look at here in America. They already have puberty blockers for kids that want to go transgender.
Yeah. There was a girl that was pregnant at 10 years old.
Jesus. I don't doubt it. I haven't looked into that much stuff, but I don't doubt it at all. Because now it's a choice. Now genetics are a choice. But it's just crazy, man. It's like, because it's always going to lead to an argument. Because some parents will let their kid do the popular thing, which will always offend someone. And then you've got a never-ending battle because someone's always going to disagree with someone else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, none of the offended within this offended era are going to win at the end of the day. They might win a small battle, but they're not going to win the war because others are going to keep on fighting for their right to either do stupid shit or do cool shit. You know, it's.
Yeah, and when you're fighting your own kind, something like when I say your own kind, I mean Americans fighting Americans is not going to fix America. And we've been constantly fighting, and it's getting worse.
It's just
literally by the year.
Yeah, it's like putting a Band-Aid over just a bleeding wound.
Yeah, we're not.
When you put no on it or nothing, you don't try and you just put a Band-Aid on it and say, well, it'll slow it down.
Right.
Yeah, it's like treating weeds and just chopping the tops off of weeds, and expecting not to grow.
Yeah, dandelions. Yeah,
you gotta pull the root up from the ground. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to the source.
Yep, that's a lot of work.
So what's the source of corruption? Is the ultimate question. We all know that answer. Government.
Yeah, big brother. Government.
So how do you then uncorrupt government?
Also.
That brings that question too.
I got one. I got one. But it's going to lead to another problem. You get rid of money, get rid of the way we view currency. But then we're going to have something else. So there's really no way around that.
We're going to have,
Because I don't mean to change the subject, but it's like in Fallout, they use bottle caps. There's going to be something to establish who's high status and who's bottom barrel. So
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. Yeah, I remember that. Like, there's already things parodying it. Games, shows, movies. There's already ideas floating out there because the world is very.
Started that. I learned in science class last week actually. That Japan has already started that, where they start rating people on their phones.
I thought it was China. Was Japan doing it too?
China, one of those two.
Yeah. China's got it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I mean, because pretty much social media has already started that, but like, because to where people are making a profit off of social media, off of how many followers they have. That is a very real thing. People are making $500,000 a year off of just many followers they have.
That's what you're talking about. Instagram mostly.
Instagram, Twitter, all that, and maybe not Facebook, because Facebook's mostly like a inner group social thing. But Instagram is 120 million%.
That's number one for Twitter, popularity with quotes.
And Twitter's up there too, where people are getting paid for their followers and all this other dumb shit.
And buying followers and everything else.
Yeah, it's a very real thing. And out in China, they've already started that whole rating people off of their phones, of the people you just meet. Like I just found this out less than a week ago. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's a very real thing. And if you think this shit's gonna end, you think that the offended are gonna lose or win.
Gonna crawl back in their holes.
It's not even about that anymore. I mean, it still is now, but in the future, it's not even gonna be about. That's gonna be a very small problem in our world.
Agreed.
That brings a point. So when you see people still arguing over little shit, it just kind of baffles me because like I don't want to say I consider myself above someone who still argues over like the value of a Tide Pod or a deal at the grocery store, but it's just like big picture shit is going on around us every day, and all of us have moments of weakness where we sink into our own problems and don't think about the big shit going on around us, but it's not stopping. Like I mean, like the job I have, I see just so many red flags, and it's just like you can either let yourself sink or get off the fucking ship, you know. So it really requires a level of intelligence and integrity to rise above this, and you know, it depends on your situation, your level of intelligence, how you were raised, and what you decided to accept from that. There's a lot of factors here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Really not. Yeah.
Never ending race. Like I always think of Big Brother, corrupt government. It's literally like you walk in the room and you see your friend or your big brother, government, with a gun in his hand, and somebody's laying on the floor bleeding with a bullet in their head, and he's like, "I didn't do it. I did it to help you."
Yeah.
It's like you better not tell anybody I did this.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna get punished too. That's the government.
I would even take it one step further, honestly, and I would say that it's even something beyond government that ends up influencing government. Because look at what has more power than the U.S. government or any like national government. The Federal Reserve. Let's see. Not NATO. I was going to say NATO. The UN, United Nations, which is it's separate from countries, but there's a representative of every country that makes it up. Yeah. And that group has more power than, say, like they can take action over what a government says that they're going to do and come in at any time and do whatever they want to do.
Is it above each representative? I mean, is it above the representative of each country?
Yes.
It is.
The UN, yes.
I'm legit asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can double check, but yeah, from what I've read over the years.
Because like I've said before, I don't think I've ever said it on this podcast, but because we never talked about it. But in terms of government, there is that scapegoat, which I think the president is a scapegoat of what the government is doing. Absolutely. So whenever someone needs to blame someone for something, like the government shutdown, everybody's like, "Oh, Trump did." Like, dude, Trump himself did not cause this government shutdown.
Nah, Trump's not smart enough for that. There's always a puppet master, man. Like even if you have the most competent president like that you've ever had, that everyone loves, but that's never even happened. But even if you did, they're not in control of all these big shits. You know, they're the middleman. They're over here telling us the news, and yeah, like because you need a face and you need a place to place blame.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just think in order for a real solution to be had, we need to look not necessarily past government, but we need to look at breaking it down and having really like sort of individual communities and letting the people of a certain area rely on each other. You know, a misunderstanding, and instead of arguing, you think about it, you talk about it, you work out something, because that shit's not really hard to do. Mm-hmm. And I think, and not to tie this into relationships and women, but I think that plays a lot into why there's a lot of divorces too, is because people don't know how to come to a conclusion about anything in general, and so that stems down into the family, which you can't resolve anything with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You knock her up, you hate each other, you divorce because you can't come to a resolution or a conclusion, or you don't know what you want, so you end up going for something that's wrong, and then it just creates the cycle all over again. So this goes so deep. It comes up from so high and goes so down low.
Yeah.
And
also, man,
it's almost overwhelming. It's almost like do we even have a fucking choice? Like, do we even, because we're obviously all above it. Like us three, we wouldn't be talking about it from this side if we weren't. So it begs the question, like, is there really a positive outcome to this at the end of the day?
We're going to talk about marriage for a second.
There are a lot of people out there that think like us. There are a lot of people out there that know more information than us and still think like us.
This is true.
But
there are smarter folks than me. I know that.
But another thing is that they don't want that retaliation of the government of reporting corruption. So
no, not at all. They'll just kill you or blackball you or set you up for rape allegation or whatever else the case may be.
Yeah, they're going to be content because they have to be content with what they know, with the information they know.
Yep.
I mean, they can go on YouTube, they can go on SoundCloud like we do, and get their shit deleted.
Oh yeah.
That's all it's going to.
Hey, so I want to go back to marriage for a second. I think it's a pretty good segue about how what we're told corrupts us and what we think about love. So I want to think of an example here where you think marriage is actually bad for someone. Like if you marry the wrong person, you stay with them your whole life.
If you marry for a material thing.
Yeah, that's bad too.
That's what that's what I'm saying. That's a reason.
It could be a variety of things. Material, it could be whether it's money or whether it's just a house, or it could be your family.
I know family's influence.
That plays a huge part, and a lot of people get married is because their family likes the person, that their family likes that the other family has money, and then you look at all the cases. There's a whole bunch of cases, countless number of occasions where the woman marries the man because the family loves his family, or they think it's better for the woman. She can't think for herself, so then she ends up getting the husband beats the shit out of her in the kitchen so many number of nights, and then she still doesn't leave his ass because
because the family,
my parents,
their family wants them to be with so and so
this person because it's good for business. It ends up being more about us and less about you. It's fucked. Like, my opinion, if I ever get married, which I'd like to, but the right way, hopefully, I want it to be about me and the girl. Like, fuck everything else.
But I will say this: if you get married, it literally is not about you and the girl anymore. Because when you get married, you're married to the state.
Marry the whole family. Oh yeah, I guess in the state.
You. By the grace of God and by the state of Virginia, I now pronounce you. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's literally what they say.
Honestly, I don't think I'll ever get married, only because I never want to walk into another courtroom ever again. You have to go into a courtroom to get married. So
I think.
Good freeze there. No, I feel you. I just meant, like, as far as how we feel this is corrupt too. Yeah, anything can be touched by bad values and just have just like something sinister creep into something that should be beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get married too, but I want to do it the right way. I don't necessarily want to do it because I feel like I should. Like y'all know me, I move slow, so.
I do too. I do too. In life,
because I know how corrupt shit is, and I know how corrupt these chicks are nowadays. Yeah. So I got to be like extra on my P's and Q's.
Men are corrupt too.
Extra. Men are corrupt too, but I'm not looking for men. I'm looking for women.
I just mean let's make it broad.
I know how to be. I'm trying to be a good man every day.
I know. I feel you, bro.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm worried about men because they're ultimately are, at the end of the day, what's fucking the women up, for the most part. But I'm not worried about them in the sense of like, okay, no. I need to vet a woman for marriage.
Women are fucking women up.
Oh yeah, women and men.
But women are fucking women up.
Men aren't calling women out on their shit as much, and as much as they should be because they're afraid.
Yeah, but what happens? But what happens when they do? Then you got a whole gang of women backing a woman up for just because she's a woman.
Just because she's a woman, yeah. There's no logic.
That is true.
No logic in
women are fucking up women more than men.
And you will always
I would
have.
say more than men, but men have a part.
Oh yeah, of course, men definitely have a part.
But yes, I will totally agree with you that women are fucking women up.
I'll throw this in.
That's
Men are not safe anymore at all. Just being men. It's very easy for a man to get fucked over by just anyone who has a problem with their opinion, because like just like court cases and things where the man usually always loses.
Yeah. I mean, masculinity is under attack as well. Masculinity is done for, man. It's on the fucking it's on the border right there.
As of 2018, that shit was next.
Yeah.
I should be laughing at 2018. It is funny. I mean, it's funny. It's fucked up. But
as are most of our comedy, yeah.
You know,
if you lose masculinity, you lose that natural balance, man. And when you lose that natural balance, just bad things are just going to happen. It's just going to continue to happen.
Like I was saying with the whole
people don't understand this shit. This shit's deeper than left and right.
Yeah, and like I was saying with the whole puberty blockers, man, like nothing's natural. Nothing's going to be natural in a couple of years, man. If even that. Everything's forced. Everyone's like, oh, what do we do now? Do I have to change who I am? I don't even know who I am anymore. What am I?
Exactly.
Identity's going away.
Exactly.
That's something else that's going away. Identity.
It's like, I don't want this. You know, and I'm not even going to explain myself with that, because I already told y'all, 2019, I'm not explaining myself. So if you don't know what I mean, fuck it.
It wasn't meant for you.
Yeah. But it's just everyone's running around. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they have. Or they know what they have, and they start questioning themselves. And nothing's natural anymore. People are literally physically blocking themselves from growing as a person, physically.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
It's fucking happening.
Cutting their own natural parts off and redoing their chemistry to make themselves think the way they think they need to think.
And devoting all their free time to media as well. I've been guilty of that. It's hard to fight it when it's everywhere. But if you're aware, at least you're on the right track to at least changing something. A lot of people never realize what's wrong. So you got to count your blessings as well.
But here's what's going to happen, though. I can already see it, is that everyone right now that's not saying anything about all this stuff, they're just sitting back as a bystander, there's going to come to a point where you can no longer be a bystander.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's going to come a point where everyone's changing themselves around you, and they're going to be looking at you like, why aren't you? What the fuck?
What's wrong with you? Yeah. And me personally, when it comes to that time, I'm not changing who I am to survive, honestly.
No.
If you want to get real. Like I'm not doing this fuck shit just to survive.
No, absolutely not.
I'm serious, because if I lose myself, I mean, look at this way. Look at it this way. You're gonna die anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. None of us are getting out of life alive.
90% of people die sometime in their life.
Unless you go to space like Matthew McConaughey in that movie.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today.
Yeah, I'd rather keep my good morals that I learned through trials and tribulations, research, parenting. You know what I'm saying? Acting and seeing how the world reacts to how I act. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna keep that until I die, and I'm not losing that because corruption's gotten so bad to where I gotta be this, that, and the third. I gotta start wearing a wig and shit and a dress and shit and cut my nuts off because this is what I'm supposed to do now.
Shave that beard, young boy.
Masculine subject. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's honestly, it's really. I'm trying to like bash the agenda too hard, but it's just like to where it's literally come to the point where it's just, it blew my mind when I heard about the whole blocking of the growth thing and how people are choosing for it, because they're letting young children choose, and that the caveat of what Adam
That's
said
a problem.
was where there has to be a certain extent where you do as a parent have to say no, because I am your parent. You're not going to do that.
It's for your best interest, man. It's for your well-being and like growth as a person.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm just like, I have an idea of what the government is doing with this whole agenda. With maybe they want more control, like they want to make it more visible that they have control, or if not, I don't know what their agenda is, what the government's agenda is with all of this.
I think it's going to gradually get more visible to the point where you can't not see it. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be the point where it's going to be so overwhelming that us as a mass of people, we're going to be like, oh shit, how do we get to this point?
Yeah,
And
I don't have a gun anymore.
And on top of that,
Go ahead.
on top of that, I don't have a certain percentage of the suicide rate of transgenders, but it is very high. And I'm thinking,
Oh yeah,
I'm just thinking maybe that's the government's way of trying to get rid of people.
very well could be. I mean, that's another whole subject entirely.
Honestly, I'm gonna be with you on that one. I wasn't gonna go that deep, but since you went that deep, we can go that deep, bro. I think that the destruction of masculinity falls into that category, because who's been doing all the fighting for anything? Men.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The gatherers.
Yeah.
Yes.
One might say.
Yes, the gatherers, all that shit. I think the destruction of masculinity falls into that.
The bacon winners.
Yes, I will go on record as to say that I'm not going to say that. I think
Put it on the record.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that. But what I will say is, I'll add on what Corn said. You know, the transgender movement being a way to basically get rid of people, because I feel as if I don't know how to put this. I'm just gonna skip over that whole part. But what I will say is, it's a problem. It's a real problem.
You want to get into like
it is very is a problem. Yes.
If you wanted to get into like some distant like apocalypse shit, we can do that, because I feel like overpopulation will someday be considered such a big problem that do something about it.
I think overpopulation is a myth.
It is a myth.
Well,
It's a myth.
I think,
but with that being said, that's not going to stop them from killing people. That's not going to stop them from killing us, from killing people off, especially in this country alone. Let alone world. Yeah.
Yeah, I think overpopulation is a synonym for a phrase which goes by, oh, we've got too many people to control. We need to trim it down so we can get under better control.
Yep.
That's what I think. I think we have the resources. I think we have the fresh water available. I think we have the technology to give ourselves fresh water en masse if we have to. I think we have the technology to go away from fossil fuels that people say are ruining the environment. We can do all that shit.
Do certain parts of China,
what's that?
do certain parts of China still have that rule to where you can only have one kid?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's 1 billion people in China.
That's pretty good.
There's 1.3 billion people in India.
Yeah.
So.
Damn. Yeah. I think it's a pretty safe. That'd be a great way to keep control of populations. Give you like a 1 or 2 child maximum. Because like, really, what's the point after that?
But see that's where it
gets. That's the fact that you just said that is the problem, dude.
That's the problem.
I'm gonna yes.
I mean,
you said there's no need for more than 2 kids. In your opinion?
No.
Okay, sure. That's an opinion. Well, dude, hold on. Let me speak, please. I get it. Hold up.
I get both parties.
I'm not trying to say like an absolute. I'm saying like, if you get to that point where there are literal threats going around, like we're gonna shoot somebody if there's too many kids, or we're gonna get rid of these people, then yeah. Like, I'm not saying I want it to happen. Hell no. But if we're talking about
if they have more than
then they'll stop it some way. You know, like I'm talking about like if we're living in a dystopia where this shit happens. I'm writing a book about that, dude. Like what if land mass was gone? If we lost a continent, and now overpopulation is a problem. That's what I'm writing about.
Not if, but when we lose California and Alaska, and maybe Hawaii.
Yeah, there's something right there.
What do you think is going to happen? Because we are going to lose California and Alaska. Alaska's already going.
Well, let's not scare people, just in case we have a single viewer out there.
All it needs is a 9 or a 10 earthquake, and that shit's falling off, bro.
Alaska, dude.
Along the San Andreas Fault.
It is proven Alaska is already sinking.
Yeah, that's because water's rising.
Yeah,
which is even more fucked up part about it.
Either way, Alaska's not going to be here in the future.
Yeah, I know. That's what. Yeah, I know.
Our lifetime, sure.
I was naming the reason.
And California, distant future, like a few hundred years.
It's already been proven that California's not going to last long either. So,
yeah, this is true.
But fair enough.
I mean, with
these real things are out there to happen. Mother Nature is a cruel bitch. We cannot avoid the inevitable. All we can do is hope it doesn't happen in our lifetimes.
Like I get what you mean. Where like I could totally see something in the future where America does start saying like, okay, hey, might need to. I mean, I might be, again, I think way too deep in this shit, but maybe they start. Yeah, I don't want to use this. I don't use this word lightly, or I might be using it lightly is what I'm saying. But they might start deporting extra children.
Yeah, that's very possible.
If you start having extra children, they might start. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Like, we might not see it, but I feel like in the future, it's a very real thing that could probably happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they probably wouldn't tell you where they're going to go, or they tell you where they're going, and it's not actually where they're going.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
And it may get so dark they start killing kids. I'm not gonna say I mean, let's just be real.
I wasn't gonna jump to that conclusion, but yeah.
How do you get rid of a mountain? You get rid of a mountain.
I was being a little mysterious with it, but
I wouldn't.
I don't like talking about this. I'm just saying that's something that could easily happen.
I like talking about it because it's
not the kid part. I don't like talking about the kid part, but yeah, absolutely. The other stuff, sure.
Yeah, I mean we're talking about the state of the government, the state of the agenda that's happening right, of the many agendas that are happening right now, not just in America but in the world.
Here's one. Here's another hypothetical you guys might like. So, say the moon or Mars becomes inhabitable. There's already media out there like Red Faction. That's one of them, where they terraform the planet Mars and make it habitable for human beings. Basically, put oxygen there so you can grow crops and shit. What if the Earth is full? Something happens, like you said, those states disappear, and the world is overpopulated, and the government or whoever is in charge at this point, whatever new name it's called, says we people have got to leave the planet, so we're gonna pick who we're sending to Mars. Like, what if we come to a point like that?
Well, who do you think you're going to pick?
Yeah, exactly.
The most valuable people on the earth.
Or they send the most useless people. Like, they send people who are willing to risk going into space.
No,
who have nothing to lose.
No, the only way they would do that is just for an experiment to prove that people can live on that. That's the only time that would ever happen.
I mean, you're gonna need guinea pigs.
Hold on. What'd you say, Jaron?
I said I think I'm with that. I would say that it depends on how nice of a place where you're going is. So so if Mars, you have to do all this extra shit just to survive. They might send the degenerates to Mars and leave the rich people on Earth.
Punish the criminals.
Yeah, like it could be a punishment as opposed to a utopia.
Send the scum of the Earth off the Earth.
or it could be vice versa. So the Earth could be the utopia, and Mars could be the quote unquote hell.
Yeah.
Or the the place where all the undesirables are. You know what I mean?
One or the other. It'll either be the good place or the bad place.
Yeah.
Because if you turn it into a choosing thing, that's going to be another world war. A planet choosing to live on a planet, and you give the people the choice for that.
We'll have a world war over fucking gender before that happens.
Over tide pods. Well, a war over tide pods and fucking light bulbs before we have a war over living on a planet. That is insanity. That will destroy the planet. That will destroy Earth. And
that and feminism, yeah.
I think I'm talking about bigger scheming things than what we're dealing with. But
that is a bigger scheming thing.
I don't think feminism is bigger than moving off the earth. I get you, bro. I get you.
Corn, do you want to bring up another one of your topics?
Yeah, did you have any, Jaron?
That's a great topic.
I mean, I did talk about 2 of them already, but
I've spilled a good bit too. A lot of beans have been spilled.
There's still a lot. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what I had for it. In terms of just pretty much fighting corruption. And Jaron, you already, one of my questions were, what would we do? Like, what's like a solution we could do? But Jaron already asked that pretty much. Like, how do we pretty much fight the government without actually fighting?
That's true.
Just stay woke and smoke every day. Maybe without that last one. No, I mean the stay woke thing is just like get up to date on what you need to know, and not what you're told to know.
But even if people are, how will we still solve that? Like I honestly, I feel like we're way too far ahead. As here on Earth, we're way too far ahead for us to even remotely even try to overthrow the government.
Yeah, and then when we do, we're not going to have a collective plan. Let's be honest here. So
the planet's not ready for that. People can't agree on anything. So no, we're not going to team up.
We can't. We can't even. Yeah, people can't even agree on political parties. So like 2 different political parties can't agree.
They can, on a false dichotomy anyway.
Yeah, on something that's not even real. So
a species can't get along with each other over things as trivial as politics or even or dumb shit like what color they are. You know, just we're still treating each other like lower beings based on things like that. When you honestly, what it should come down to is morals and intelligence, how you treat each other. But I mean, you know, a lot of people are ignorant, and a lot of people are conditioned, as we already talked about. They're complacent to how they've been raised. So, and you can't fight that unless the smarter population.
Fight it. And it comes and it starts from within. That's how you fight it. That's the only way to fight it.
I'm saying you have to have a dedicated group who wants to go out and teach others a better way of thinking, and that involves breaking down walls. That sounds like a whole entire new group that needs to rise up. Like
it would be a new way of living on Earth.
A rebellious side party that breaks norms and becomes a business so they can profit. That literally works to change people's minds. People who are deemed too far gone to be of use to the Earth. You know.
But the way of doing that, one of the main ways of doing that, or probably the biggest way of doing that, is social media and via videos and shit. And guess who's the first person to hear it before actually?
The companies that the government has under their arm.
Yeah, like I said, we're way too far. We're way too far, man.
So are you saying that there's no hope?
I think at this very moment, it's very hard to see how we can.
I don't. Me personally, I don't think there's ever a such thing as no hope. However,
okay.
Seeming that I do have a tattoo on me, so I have to
stay. Yeah, in other words, it's faith, so you gotta have both.
To stay in that mind frame, but I mean, it's too much. It's too much for us to try and for us to we have to come, like Adam said, everyone has to come together. That's step 1.
Yeah.
We can't even get that step right.
I think no, I would even say the first step is
that step right.
Figure yourself out and then come together.
And we can't even get that right.
I know. I'm saying that's how bad it. I'm adding on to how bad it is.
Jaron, you're asking for the impossible here. Some people never figure themselves out. You're literally asking for some beets to start growing out of a carpet. Like
no, like it's so simple, but we still can't get that right. We can't even figure out who we are as one simple person can't even do something as easy as figuring out who they are, because we're so fucked up in the head because of what we see, what other people are telling us, what
addition to
what we're told, like it's just everything.
what our
Like,
habits,
and
what our habits turn us into. Yeah.
average person can't tell you who they are, who they truly are, unless
Right.
unless they post it on social media, which is not who they truly are. Once they say, "I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that," but you talk to them in person, they don't know who the fuck they are.
No.
Step one, Jaren's right. That's step one, and we still can't get that right.
It's very, very
And
deep.
when we say this, we're speaking as a collective. There's little pockets of hope, you know,
Yeah,
There are people,
scattered all
people-
around, but that's not going to be enough, and it will never be enough, unfortunately.
No.
I mean, always, yeah. Again, I'm not gonna explain, but yeah, y'all can explain.
you've been explaining. We all have. But yeah, like, because the people who think this way are the minority, and until
And always probably will be.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't see that changing in our lifetime at all. So where do we really go from here? But just accept it, try to do better, try to learn, and really just what can one person do, but do their best.
And honestly, I'm glad I grew up as an outcast. I'm glad that I've carried that on in my life as an outcast. I have never been super popular or anything. I've been surrounded by a whole bunch of people because
Same.
that's how easily people get distracted. They get distracted by trying to impress everyone around them.
That's
They
true.
get distracted by popularity. Get distracted
That's
by what's cool now. The trends and all this other shit. Like
Yep.
that's what has everyone so like looped up in their head to where they can't get that shit right, to where we can't move forward as a population in this country alone in order to come together and do shit and think for ourselves and have more I don't want to say businesses, but have more groups that like of free thinkers,
Yeah.
you know.
And I would even say I came up. I mean, we came up similarly, but I guess I was probably a little bit more popular than both of you guys in school. But I never viewed it like that, which is key, because I never let that shit get to my head. Okay, maybe a couple times, but that was only dealing with chicks. But anyway. But
I'm honestly very thankful.
Hold on, man. Where I was getting at with that is we've come to the same conclusion. I was more popular. I was surrounded by more people. Yet, I still have an open mind. I can still think clearly. I can still think for myself. I can still discern from right and wrong. I can still see past the facade of what this created reality is. And I attribute that to how I was raised, which led me to the things that I did to be able to be in this type of headspace. You know what I mean?
And that's an accomplishment, dude, because there are still people in our age group, younger and older, who wouldn't be able to answer exactly what you just said. They'd say, I have to ask someone, you know?
Oh, sure.
So there are people who are still sheep. And I'm thankful to have the small friend group and the small group of people that I trust, because then you know what people really are like. I mean, there are times when I think I'm really glad I wasn't born an extremely, like, perfectly good-looking person to the point where you're going to have tons of attention. People just want to bang you. And then you don't know who to trust. You know, it honestly ends up being worse than what the media makes it out to be. So, I mean, I'm thankful for what I've got. Granted, I want to work hard to do more, but I'm thankful that I've kept the people in my life, and I'm not attracting the wrong types. I have to go out and meet people myself, and that's where I stand. So, you know, that's just life. That's just the cards you're dealt.
Yeah, and now people don't know how to deal with the cards that they've been dealt with. People want to trade the cards.
Yep. They don't want to figure out how to play the card game. They want to trade it for a different.
I'm not getting off of that. People want to trade their cards. They don't want to deal with what they have in front of them. They want to trade in the meal that they got, the plate that they got, for someone else's plate.
Right.
They say, oh, he can do this. Oh, I want this too.
He got steak. I wanted steak. I got fucking chicken.
Where's my food? I ordered it 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I'm just being stupid about it, but yeah, I get what you guys are saying.
Yeah, I mean, You know, that's where we are. That's where we are.
Yep.
I do want to touch on one thing. Do you guys believe in UFOs?
I believe in parallel worlds, so that there has to be other life out there.
What do you believe in UFOs?
Sure. I mean, maybe not UFOs exactly, but whatever other form of life has to have a way to travel. So,
Jaron, do you?
In a nutshell, yes, but not in the sense of like aliens, but also in a sense of aliens. If that makes sense. So, so like I don't.
Not like the cartoon, not the actual aliens that they depict on TV, but aliens that are like they're not us, and that the government. All right, because I want to touch on it a little bit about how I think the government's hiding UFOs from us, and I think they've been doing it for hundreds of years, maybe not thousands, but hundreds of years.
Yeah, ever since it was created, pretty much. Yeah,
I think that's awesome. I'd love to see some aliens.
Because even the ancient civilizations saw these crafts flying around and stuff like that. Like this is nothing new at all.
Yeah.
But that's the information that you're not supposed to know. And you're not going to be led there. You have to literally look for it and find it.
Yeah. And movies got the ideas for them somewhere. So
exactly.
Yeah, because there were sightings. There was one site last year. I was up on my laptop, but there was a sighting last year where an aircraft, actually, someone found it on a camera of the aircraft. I want to say last year.
Yeah.
Nobody has anything to say.
But I'm sorry. I thought you were going. I thought you were.
No, I'm saying like someone found it. They found the footage. Like it wasn't the pilot of the aircraft, but it was an aircraft. I forget. It might have been. I don't want to get it wrong. Might have been Russia though. Don't want to get it wrong. They don't quote me on Russia. But there, if you look up on YouTube, there was a sighting of an aircraft, and it came above the clouds, but it wasn't an aircraft.
Okay.
Just like you know how like the helicopters and stuff, like the pilots, like the military has like cameras on all angles of the craft. Well, there's one on the rear part, on the right side, you can see it a little bit, where it looks kind of like a ship, like in the air, and no one knew what it was.
Man, that's real shit, and I also think it'd be naive to think that we're the only creatures in the universe, or even in our galaxy.
There are many people who think that very thing.
I know, but I think that's just naive. Like people really think that humans are the pinnacle of existence.
Yeah,
and I think I feel like there's probably life forms that are less intelligent than us and more intelligent than us.
Oh, most definitely, dude. Shit, can't be much stupider.
Yeah, I think we as humans have a special purpose. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I'm pretty sure we have one. And I'm also pretty sure that we're not just connected physically, but also spiritually throughout the universe and the galaxy and everything else.
I'd love to see how other creatures look, like other human sentient like type beings, look and dress, and that'd be so wild.
I like to think that they might not they might look just like us, but they aren't acclimated to our Earth, to like Earth. So their body reacts differently.
Yeah.
To our, just like if we went to their Earth, we'd probably be like our bodies would react differently to their Earth as well, or to their Earth. So we might be like Superman to them, I don't know.
Because hell, without light, we wouldn't be able to see what we look like.
Very true.
We could only be able to feel and hear,
And that's heavy.
We would all be dead.
Could you imagine? Yeah, we would all be dead. But could you imagine just like being pitch black, no trace of light whatsoever, and trying to interact?
Insane.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah. Well, we'd only be able to interact for maybe like 2 minutes before we all died. But,
yeah. And you wouldn't be able to see. Yeah, you'd like fall off a cliff or something. Yeah, I understand, but it's just a thought.
the fact there are other animals and reptiles in this world.
Yeah.
And they probably have night vision.
But they can see in the dark and pitch black.
They can. Yes, they can. So they will eat you. So
Yes.
We'll find you.
yeah. Man is not, the aliens aside, man is not top dog on this planet. Man is smartest. But these beasts, you got freaking killer whales and grizzly bears, like they run the show. Like you take away man's guns, he will die. So it's
our guns and our inventions. Yeah, we're toast.
Yes.
However, I mean, the humans are the closest relatives to chimps and like the monkeys and gorillas, because they are the smartest mammals on Earth.
I thought dolphins were.
No.
Jaron?
I'm not sure on that one.
I know dolphins are up there too.
Yeah, dolphins are pretty smart.
Let's look.
Yeah. Fair enough. We don't need all that, bro. He won't give it a second. Come on, Jaron.
Man, it started me at 25. Hold on.
What's up?
Hold on. Just give me another minute.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, I know dolphins are extremely perverted, but they have to be smart enough to know that. Huh?
Dolphins fucking rape people, man.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking vicious, man.
And they get away with it by being cute.
I don't even find them that cute if I found out they fucking rape and pillage humans.
Pillage villages.
Humans rape and pillage humans.
Yeah, that's true. Which I don't like.
I was trying to get us onto a lighter topic about dolphins, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't like humans either.
The dolphin thing doesn't really matter, Jaron. I was just kind of branching us off briefly.
Well, you got me on it, so just give me a second. I got slow internet here. I live out in the boonies.
You do. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, in terms of aliens, like I do like to think of like, I never thought of
US. Yes, interject. Chimpanzees was number one. Yes.
Okay.
Dolphins are 3, and oddly enough, pigs are number 2.
Pigs?
Yep.
Pigs are number 2.
I never knew.
A middle-aged pig can be as smart as a 3-year-old human being.
Probably
They
smarter.
know how to adapt to complex environmental situations because they have the ability to learn new skills easily.
Really? That's awesome. I did not know pigs were smart.
I didn't either.
Fun fact: I just found that out recently, actually, because I was talking to a vegan last week, and she told me that the reason why she doesn't eat anything off of a pig, or the reason why she became vegan, is because pigs are like dogs. Because pigs are basically treated as dogs, but somehow they slaughter pigs, but they don't slaughter dogs. So you're basically eating like something that's smarter than a dog.
Yeah, pigs are smarter than dogs. Yeah, dogs were like number 6 or something.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because they got good meat on them.
That's pretty crazy to think about.
Like, damn, that's crazy. I was like,
but man, I love me some bacon.
I was like, I told her good thing I eat bacon and ham. And
I was about to say and dog.
I was saying and Chinese. I eat Chinese too. So I was like, they all get their fair share of my stomach.
Damn.
Oh man.
It was an eye opener, but I've seen the way they eat hot dogs, and I still eat hot dogs. I haven't had one in like over a year probably, but I don't go out looking for hot dogs.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I haven't had a hot dog in a long ass time.
I know me either, but I will still eat a hot dog, and I've seen how they're made. So
yeah.
You're not gonna stop me from eating.
Well, anyways, fellas, I guess this is a good stopping point. We've covered a lot of ground, and yeah, we went over corruption, among other things, among dolphins and pigs. So yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Does anybody
I think people learned a lot.
Does anybody have any last pointers?
That was mine.
Jaron?
I just want to say that I have not lost hope in humanity, but it has dwindled significantly in the past 5 years.
Yeah, it's
I think
going down.
we have work to do as a race, and when I say that, I mean the human race, not black, white, purple, and pink and orange.
Green.
But at the end of the day, the solution is right in front of our face. But we're all too blinded to see it. And once we can just take that veil off over our eyes, man.
Yeah.
And just look at the world for what it really is. Just step outside of the mass hysteria and just float above it for a second and just think about it and just look at it. Not from any biased point of view. And you really see, like, man, this is really a non-issue. Like, we spend our lives arguing non-issues.
Very true.
Things that if people cared about people wouldn't even come up. Wouldn't even be an issue. Wouldn't even be brought into existence. But instead, we choose to divide and choose to be divided and let ourselves fall into that.
And not only that,
like 20-fold.
In a bad way.
Yeah, and in a bad way too, not in a good way.
Yeah, corruption goes very deep into your upbringing and all that stuff. It's
One of the government slogans is to change the world. You think they mean that in a good way?
No. Are they lying to you either? No. Let me just touch on that before we go. I want to say that people need to look into neurolinguistic programming. Go ahead and research that. I'm not going to do it for you.
Nah, do it for us.
No, I'm good. And that's anyway. In regards to, wait, you said something about the government telling people. What did you say, Cornelius?
About what?
Like your last, what was your last?
You're gonna change that they want to change the world.
Yeah. So, like a lot of, and also looking at a lot of these companies' slogans, and see the dual meanings behind that. And another thing that they do is they'll tell you things that may seem like it's one way, but it's really another way. But they're technically not lying to you either. Because one thing about the government, it doesn't lie to you. Well, I'll tell you what, it does lie to you, but the truth is always out there as well for you to find.
The government, like
the information's there to find.
The government is literally uninforming their consumers.
Yes.
That they force on them. So it's not like we're consumers like, oh, what's it? No, they're forcing it on us and not informing us on what lies beneath.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's all I got.
Hell yeah.
Neil, any final words? Adam, any final words?
Yeah, I do have. I think, honestly, from me to the listener, whoever you are,
the listener, singular.
I'm saying, like, for each person.
Talking to the individual person who might be listening at whatever moment.
I get you, man.
Make sure you do. I've learned a lot just in the past 2 weeks, researching for this podcast, because I've always wanted to do it, because I've learned about corruption on a personal and professional side in the past few years.
Yeah, so much.
And just seeing how the world reacts just in terms of control. There's nothing worse. What is that noise?
It's not me.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, but control is control is like the worst power anyone could ever have. Whether it's controlling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, control is not.
I would argue it's how you use it, but
make sure you have. Well, you need to have control over yourself before, so that
you have control over anybody else. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, just make sure you just open your eyes, do your research. Like Jaron said, look around you. Literally step outside and look around you, and see what's going on. Look at the world as of how you want to view it, not of how someone tells you to view the world.
Yeah, bottom line. That's the bottom line. Live your best life yourself.
Living my best life.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Well, we are contemporary comrades, as always. It's been a blast with you guys, and you all take care. Adam out.
Peace.